8.0 is the latest release that the Angular team has been working on, and I want to dive in deep to one of the biggest ways that 8.0 is helping developers reduce their bundle size. Differential loading allows you to ship modern JavaScript, or ES 2015 or above, to newer browsers and ES5 to legacy browsers. This helps bundle size a ton because the new modern JavaScript features had to be transpiled into a lot more verbose and longer JavaScript, which increased the bundle size. And so by taking advantage of this feature, which is turned on for all projects by default in version 8, everyone's bundle sizes are just going to get between 7 and 20% smaller. Let's take a look. So to really understand differential loading, I want to draw a comparison between what happens in version 7 and what happens in version 8 when we do a build. So this is a standard CLI and GNUde application, and you can see it's running the latest version. So when we do a production build of our application, several things are going to happen. It's going to render out a bunch of these files, and most of these files are just main.js, styles. Runtime.js, all these sorts of things. And if we take a look in this actual file, what we're going to see is that this is shipping ES5, or the older version of JavaScript. And the impact of that is that if you use any modern JavaScript features like classes, like modules, all those sorts of things, they have to get compiled down into more verbose ES5 equivalents. And this actually is reflected in our tsconfig in our application, where we can see that the target here is set to ES5. So what happens if we actually update our application to version 8? So we'll just do an ng update at angular/CLI at angular/core, and we'll jump to the next. So this will jump us to version 8 of Angular. And as you're going to see, it's going to apply a few schematics that automatically transform our application. We are going to see that our tsconfig.json now targets ES 2015. And the effect of that is that when I do another ng build -- prod, I'm going to get out a different bundle that's going to be available for modern browsers than I'm going to get for legacy browsers. And so this uses a syntax that you could call the module no module syntax. And so how this works is that in our index.html, we don't see any script tags here, but when you actually build the application, the CLI and Webpack under the hood are actually going to create a bunch of script tags for the main.js bundle, etc. And how JavaScript browsers work in general is that if I put a module equals here, that's going to load modern JavaScript. And this script tag is actually only going to be executed by browsers that support modern JavaScript. And if I say script source equals main.es5.js, and I say no module here, all modern browsers that support the module syntax are going to ignore this. And so this is a neat little trick that we use to actually do all of the differential loading, all of the decision making on the client side. So this ng build, it actually ran 2 builds and created one of ES5 files and one of ES 2015 files. And as you can see, the ES 2015 files are much, much smaller. So we went from 242 KB in our main bundle down to 209. And then even more significantly in our polyfills, we need a lot fewer polyfills in a modern browser. And so we went from 111 KB down to 36.8 KB. So in the CLI that we ship with Angular version 8, we're going to automatically apply this differential build for you, and we're going to automatically create that index file that differentially loads these. And if you want to take a look at your tsconfig, or if this isn't working for some reason, just double check that you're targeting ES 2015 so that we know that you want to be generating modern JavaScript, because if you leave this as ES5, then we're only going to be generating the legacy JavaScript for you. We've just seen how the latest CLI tools in version 8 allow you to ship smaller bundle sizes to modern browsers. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for other videos about version 8.